Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to play with Natasha Denona's Diamond and Blush Palette, Darya. This is the second video to my blush series. My first video was on also Natasha Denona's Bloom palette. I would say the two palettes, when put side by side, the Diamond and Blush palettes are definitely her full glow system that she's well known for, and you can see in today's look here, I've got an extremely shining, glistening, an instant wet look here. That's all thanks to these products. Between the Glow Cream Base, this Duo Glow, Extreme Glow, and then finally Diamond Powder here. That's how this was achieved. Throughout the tutorial, I will talk about at certain points, if you're happy with the pigmentation, if you're happy with how glowing you look, you don't have to use all 6 products. But certainly, if you do decide to use all 6, I think the final results are still beautiful, and you can do a lot with this palette. It's very flexible. Last I checked, it was still on sale on Natasha Denona's website and other major online retailers. If you're interested, go and grab it now. There is a chance that these may be discontinued, although there's no official word on it. I just feel like with that sale and how long it's been going on, there's a chance it might not come back. And if you're not certain whether the Darya palette is for you, you can always look towards the 4-pan palettes like the Bloom. It features her famous formulas, the Glow Cream Base, the Pigmented Cream Blush, Duo Glow, and Glow Extreme. You might not achieve the same kind of intense wet look, but I assure you, you will still have a very glistening, shiny, highlighted cheeks using the Bloom palette. I will see you guys after the tutorial. All right, I have everything on before applying the cream blushes. So we're gonna go ahead using a dampened sponge. I'm gonna find a side that's clean here, probably this side here, and then we're gonna dip it into the Glow Cream Base. Apply that onto the cheeks and sides of the forehead. It's not very visible, this Glow Cream Base. You know, it's like a beige color, but up close it does have that kind of sparkly sheen to it, and it grabs onto the cream shadow as well as the powders that we'll be applying after to give you an all-over glow. If you have the Bloom palette, it's a similar step. I applied the Glow Base onto the cheeks and then the sides of the forehead, which is optional, but when you apply it on the cheeks, how much area to cover just depends on how much of a glow you want. If you want an overall just very glowy all over in this area, then you can go ahead and do what I did. You can just kind of stamp it around here all the way through. But if you want it to be, if you want the glow to be a smaller area, then I would just focus on right around here, or you can even just do it onto the highlights, the high points of the cheeks along here. So it just depends. My preference is I do like that all over glow, so I do cover more of my cheeks. So moving on to the next step, now we're going to go to the cream blush. And then using the same side of that sponge, there's a lot of pigment in these products, so I'm going to go light hand, and I'm not afraid of adding more if I need to. And I feel like when I stamped it on here, I got some product below. I'm gonna go ahead with the base of the sponge and just apply some leftover foundation to correct it. This is another reason why I like using a sponge, because I can correct any mistakes or any areas that I didn't intend to apply the cream blush by just using leftover foundation from a different part of that same sponge. So very handy. And I find with cream blushes, the really pigmented ones, like the ones in Natasha Denona's palette, I like using a sponge to apply it, but you can also use your favorite brush that is meant for creams and liquids to apply it as well to diffuse the color. But I found that I can just use most of the cream products just using a sponge here, so that's my preference. Next, we're going to take this Duo Glow. It's really pretty purple sheen here, and then we're going to apply it to the high points of the cheek. Now I'm going to use a side of the sponge I haven't used yet to do that, and it picks up quite a bit of product, but you can see the difference here. You begin to see some of that purple and pink. It looks even more of a glow. Okay. Again, if you feel like you've applied too much product, you can always use a different part of the sponge, or use a part of the sponge that has some foundation to lighten it up by covering it with just a bit of foundation. And then you can get a more balanced application on either side. I did apply all of her face powder off screen that has a mattifying effect, and I left my cheeks unpowdered because I do want to apply this powdered shadow, this Glow Extreme, and then finally this diamond powder for the sake of this tutorial and demonstration to show you what it looks like when I use all the products. If you do like how much blush and the colors on the cheeks right now, then I would say you probably don't need Glow Extreme and the diamond powder right here. So it's just all preference. I like that you can either amp it up or tone it down with this palette. Now, if you have the Bloom palette, the 4-pan, the Duo Glow, the purple color that I applied just before, this is the equivalent formula on the Bloom palette, and you can apply that with a sponge. You can apply it with a blush brush. I did in my Bloom palette video, I actually used an angled brush to do that. So those are some options. I think it works pretty well whether you use a dense blush brush or if you use a sponge. So I'm going to apply some of the powdered blush just very lightly on both sides. I don't need that much product because I feel like I already have a lot of pigment. So it's very light. I'm covering the whole cheek area here and diffusing it. So taking a side from the brush, I'm going to apply Glow Extreme onto the high points of the cheek. You can see some of the product on the brush, and this is its effect. So look at this side versus here. It's even more glowy than before. You can apply as much as you'd like on there, and I find that it's not really texturizing my cheeks as much as maybe you would expect it to, since I already have layers of product on. So I think that's what makes this palette really beautiful, is you obviously don't have to use every single product on there, but should you decide to go with the full deal and use every single one, I think it's still very flattering where it doesn't emphasize texture too much. You can see now that I have 5 of the 6 products on my cheeks. It really is very glowy, pearlescent. I'm going to apply the diamond powder with a different brush, and I'm going to apply the diamond powder also on the high points of the cheeks, but I'm going to be using this sparingly, and I'll swatch it really quickly here. You can see the chunky glitter that's in there, or the chunky crushed crystals. I believe this is crushed crystals. But I'd have to check the website just to make sure, and you do get quite a bit of product from just dabbing into it with normal pressure. You see? And for effect, I'm going to try swiping it on the other side rather than just stabbing it. Ooh, that is shiny. Okay, and for effect, I'm just gonna do that on my forehead. We're there anyways. Let's go for it. Let's go for the full thing. So shiny. Some more texturing highlighted with the diamond powder, but you know, it's kind of to be expected because it's so chunky too, but still looks nice, still looks beautiful. I'm going to complete my eyeshadow and then we'll be back for the finished look. For eyeshadow, I did use Natasha Denona's Lila palette, and I'm just gonna add some finishing touches here. Using the mini booster, I dipped it into Magnetic and Pure. Mix these two colors, and I'm going to apply it to my bottom lash line. And with a different shader brush, we're gonna dip it into Juno. Apply it to the brow bone for instant highlight. And to the inner corners. And then I'm going to use the Jumbo Blender to diffuse this color here. I want it to be a smoky pink look, so I need this color to kind of spread out a little bit. And with a finger, we're going to dip it into Helio. This is the shade topper I use on my upper lid, and we're going to put it into the center here. We're so shiny and glowing. All the glow. All the glow. Are we going anywhere today? No. But let's have fun anyway, right? We're here, let's have some fun with makeup. And before we go, I wanted to talk about the Bloom palette once more. So you saw me apply Glow Extreme from Darya, and it's more of a nude or a champagne color. On the Bloom palette, it's this pinky rose gold like shade. Both are beautiful. It just creates a slightly different look. And in my Bloom palette video, I did apply Glow Extreme onto my Cupid's bow and my nose. We can go ahead and do that as well. And then I can apply it on my Cupid's bow just with a finger here. Okay, this is the finished look. I hope you found the tutorial helpful. It may or may not have made the decision easier for you on these palettes. Trust me, it is not easy for me either. I really like how the look turned out. I think using the Lila palette was a good decision overall. You've got pink with a hint of purple, some mauve tones to go with the overall look. And now I want to go out and get the citrus palette for the summer. We might not be going anywhere anytime soon still, but you can always add another blush to your collection, right? I appreciate you guys watching to the end. Take care, stay safe. See you guys next time.